Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Indranil and I thank all of my viewers and subscribers for the support and love for this channel. I know it has been quite long since I last uploaded any new video, but I was real busy with my office work. I'll try to keep this channel more active by uploading new stuff more frequently. So today, to keep the momentum active, I've chosen another front-end mentor challenge here to practice HTML and CSS. This time, I will be designing this Fylo landing page with two-column layout. It's a free challenge. You can go to frontendmentor.io, go to challenges, and just filter this section by free, and the language should be HTML and CSS, and this free one should be at the very bottom of this list. So this is the one. So once you're here, we'll be designing this layout. It has only two modes, one desktop and one mobile. So this is how it looks in mobile and this is how it looks in desktop. So whenever you're ready, you can start the downloader kit from here, and once you download it, it will download a zip file which will contain this folder, and here you will have certain files like images, then you have the index.html and the style guide. Okay, I just make this in list view. So once you have got this, you should extract all these things and you dump them in a folder, and then you can open your favorite IDE. It can be Visual Studio Code, Sublime Text, or WebStorm, whatever you want. For me, I will be using WebStorm. That's my preferred IDE for any kind of web development. And in this project, we will also be using a new framework of CSS that is quite popular these days, known as Tailwind. Okay, so you go to tailwindcss.com and you check out their installation section, and here under framework and guides, we'll use Parcel for easy building and to get a live server. Okay, so these are the steps. So what I've done here, if I just quickly show you, I have created a new empty project here by the name Fylo demo, and I've copied the index.html, the images folder, and the style guide here. So if you open the style guide, it will tell you what kind of resolution you should be targeting, what are your primary, secondary, neutral, accent colors that you will be using in this project. As far as typography is concerned, they have not given any default font size, so we will stick with 16 pixels as our default font for the body. And for the font family, they have used a couple of font families here. First one is Railway font, and these should be used for the headings, call to actions, header navigation, all those stuff. And for the body, they are using Open Sans. Yeah, and you can click on these links and they will directly take you to the Google Fonts page. So once you are there, you can simply add the required weights. Okay, these are the weights, and then you can copy the link tag directly from the Google Fonts page and paste it in your index.html under the link under the head section. Okay, so like the way I did it here. So basically I already added the font families here to save some time. Okay, these are the three links, and now it's time to install Tailwind. So I'll do one thing. I'll create a new directory here and I'll name it source src. Okay, and I'll drag and drop my src my index file into the src folder, and also I am going to create another folder by the name sas, and I will be writing minimal CSS code, and most of the layout will be created with the help of Tailwind. All right, so here I'll do one thing. I'll add few files. The first one would be my main.scss. So I'll choose no for file watcher. So this will be my main file. And to install parcel, we also need to make this as a node project. So for that, it's pretty simple. You open your terminal, navigate to this project folder, and simply type npm init. Let me just zoom in a bit here. Okay, and hit enter. It'll ask few things, so I'll simply hit enter for everything. Okay, all default settings, nothing much, and it will automatically generate a package.json file for me. Okay, this is first step to install parcel. Next, you go to the parcel documentation, you copy these lines, or I'll copy it one by one. And before you can do this, make sure you install node. Okay, so you have to download and install node if you don't have that already installed in your machine. So basically here you can see the -d flag. This means I will be only using Tailwind CSS and Post CSS for development purposes. They will not be added in the final production build. All right, so hit enter, give it some time to finish. In the meantime, let's check the next thing here. It says initialize the Tailwind CSS. You run this code, it will generate this tailwind.config.js file. So basically this is a framework where you get classes. Okay, it's I'll not say it's just like Bootstrap, but this is much more flexible. All right, and they don't give you anything out of the box like buttons, cards. No, so you have to create everything, but they will give you classes to create those things. All right, so we'll see this in action in a moment. Let's quickly finish this. So this is done. Let's put the next one command here, and we should see the tailwind config.js file here. Okay, so this is the JS file. This is the default content of the file, but I should replace it with what? With this thing, with this content, I mean. So I'll simply replace everything, and since this is pointing to the source directory, and that's why I created a src folder here, and I put everything inside it. So next it says you should create a file name post cssrc in your root project root folder. So I'll right click here, new file, and simply name it like this. And inside this file you put this thing as it is. All right, so this is all what we have to do with Tailwind's configuration. And next you have to do few more things with respect to your SCSS file here, and that is you have to copy these include statements or Tailwind statements like this. That's it, you're done. And then you go here and run this command, and it will build your file. So let's see this in action. Okay, and it says you have to install the following packages, and I'll say yes. Go ahead and do that, because I think I missed the parcel installation, like this one. Yeah, so this I missed accidentally. So make sure you install parcel, otherwise it will not work, this command. Okay, so parcel got added and it built the project, and as you can see, it has also started a local server here on port number 1234. So what I'll do, I'll open Firefox, which is running on my other monitor here. I'll simply navigate to 1234, and this is what we get out of the box without any styling at all. It's just the content of your HTML file that we see here, okay, under the body section. All right, so simple stuff. And the best part is that we are using SCSS, and Parcel can automatically um, compile SCSS into CSS, and you can directly link your SCSS file in this HTML, but in the final output you will get the CSS, compiled CSS. So what I'll do, I'll go create a link tag and point it to SCS SAS folder, then my main.scss. Okay, so it's building again, installing the dependencies automatically. And give it some time. Come on, come on. Okay, so it's built. It says no utility classes were detected in your source files. If this is unexpected, double click the content and Tailwind CSS configuration. All right. So let's test it out. I'll give the body tag some background color just to check that it's working. Red. Save the file and check the browser. Okay, wonderful. So it's getting compiled. Perfect. Now let's quickly follow the guide here. So we have a guide. Okay, I'm gonna minimize or collapse this project window. So first we need to take care of these colors. Okay, I will start with the mobile version first, and we have to also consider the design aspect here. So this is the design image screenshot. So if you see here, this is the active state, this is the desktop design, and this is how it should look on desktops. And I'll not be creating these icons, okay, this social icons, okay, not in the desktop view or nor in the what do you call, the mobile view. So the purpose of this tutorial is not to replicate or submit this exercise on the Frontend Mentor website. This is just for practice. So if you want, you can definitely go ahead and submit it and follow the exact design. But I will be doing the following the exact same design, but I will not be submitting anything on their website. So as you can see here, if I just go down, there are 3 social media icons. I will not be creating these, or okay, so rest everything will be fine. So we'll start with this design first, this vertical 1 column layout. Okay, all right. So let's quickly create the colors, and you can do this in multiple ways. The way I prefer is creating a color map and then extracting them in CSS variables. All right, so let me create a couple of more files here, CSS files. So I'll create some partial files, and the way you create a partial file is putting an underscore in the name, okay, and then you can give whatever name you want. So I'll name colors, and the next one should be media. For media queries, underscore media, don't forget the underscore, otherwise that will also get compiled. Okay, so we don't want that. So in the media file, what do we need? We need a couple of mixins. So mixin is a reusable function, you can say. Okay, a piece of code which you can reuse at multiple places throughout your CSS journey. Okay, so it starts with the word @mixin, and then you can give it any name. So I'm giving the name mobile, okay, so that I know that I'm targeting or doing something with the mobile devices. And here I'll write media screen and max width. This is the standard media query format that we generally do. And in the body section, basically I'll not put anything except @content. So this content will get projected from the from other files basically. Similarly, I'll copy the same piece of code and I'll use desktop, and this time it should be, you guessed it, it's 1440 pixels. And from where these numbers are coming, it's coming from my guide here. Okay, 375 1440. So the purpose of this file is done. Next we have our colors file. So colors, I'm going to create a map. Okay, color map. So map is basically it's basically enclosed within parentheses. Okay, so it'll look like this. So I'll name it colors. Okay, like this, and I can put anything inside this uh, parentheses. It should be a key value pair. So and the key value, like the key and the value, so the value can be another map. Okay, it can be another map itself, like this. Okay, that is allowed. So it's not key value, but not in with separated with commas. It's separated with colon. So here, so my first key will be the name primary, because that's my primary colors. And then we have neutral colors, and then we have accent colors. Okay, so again, these are coming from my guide here. So I've named them. So in order to save some time, I'll copy paste these maps from my code. So it'll look like this. Let me just replace this. Okay, so primary, then it has values, then have neutral, accent, like this. But the question is how you can fetch the colors or the actual colors from this map. So there are multiple ways. So there is an inbuilt function that you can use, that is map.map-get. Okay, it's a function that is given to you by SAS compiler. Okay, so the way you do it is basically you provide it a key. So let's say I put primary, and so it'll first go to this key, and then it'll ask for the value. Again, my value is a map, so I'll again use a map get here, and then I'll use the word very dark value. Okay, so it works like this. And if we check the documentation of map get, you will see how it works. So basically it'll look for a key in an array or something. So let's quickly check that here. Map get SCSS. So there are yeah, so this is the actual format. You put the map and the key. Okay, so our map is colors and the key is primary. So this will return me something. Okay, and now if I simply go to my main CSS and write use colors as this, and let's say I put color body, although it will give me a very wrong value here for the color. It will not be actual color, but let's see. So it's dollar test. Okay, if I hit save, it'll not be able to compile because that's not an actual value. But now if I go here, okay, instead of primary, I put map dot get let's see, very dark blue. Does it work? Let's see. So basically, you get the point, right? This is the map and the key, and again you get a map, and so your here it'll be your map and the key. Okay, then you'll get something out of it. And it says, all right, so we'll not do this. Instead, what I'll do, I'll create another mix in here, and I'll name it generate colors. I'll show an alternate way, okay, an easier way. So in SAS, we get loops, okay? So this is a for each loop, and I'll loop in my colors map, okay? So this color map will give me a color and a shades map here. This is my shades, let's say. So dollar shades, okay? And I'll use another each block here because I have to loop through every shade and its value in my shades map, because I have two maps here. Then I'll use the CSS3 variable notation with starting with 2 hyphens. Okay, then you can give it a name, whatever name you want. And then if you want to use these variables in the name, so you have to use this what do you call hash symbol with 2 curly braces, and then you can put the variable inside it. So I'll start with dollar color. That is my individual color. That will be either primary, neutral, or accent. And then I go here, I put my shade, which will be these bright blue, moderate cyan, whatever it is. And then I want their value here. Okay, so this is my mixin, but I'm still not using it. I have to go to my main CSS, and in my root, what I'll do, I'll simply call it. So the way you call it is using the add include statement, and add include. So as you can see here, I'm using the @use keyword instead of @import. This is the new way and the preferred way. So basically you use the word use with the file name without the underscore, and as. So if you want to use the function's name without any prefix, you can put asterisk, or you can give it a name like C for colors, and then have to type C dot generate colors. Okay. Otherwise, if you don't want to use C dot generate colors, you can simply replace this with asterisk, and you can get rid of this. Okay. So now if you hit save, it should compile, and in the dist folder here, there will be an index file. You see here. So all these classes, everything got generated from Tailwind. All right. And one more thing, that the use statement should be on top of everything. So now if you scroll down and you go to the root section here, so this is not the root. Yeah. Now you see all the colors that are there in the map got generated and compiled to their respective values, and you see their color output here in the swatches. Okay. This is how you use or convert a map or extract data from map. All right, so we are done with colors. Let's create few helper variables here. Okay, so this is for, let me just name it, generate colors from map, and then font families. Again, these are CSS variables. Okay, so for the body, it should be inter sans serif. Then you have open sans, and these are all coming from your Google font. Okay. Okay, missed one hyphen there. So it should start with 2 hyphens. These are CSS variables. Okay. You can name them anything you want. Railway sans serif. Okay. Next, let's deal with our font weights. So font weight normal is 400, font weight bold is 700. These are only two weights given to us in the style guide. And let's say font sizes. I'm not sure whether I will be using them or not, but let's create it. So font size default is 16 pixel. Font size 2x, 2 rem, 3x, 3 rem. All right. This is just the basic structure. And for the body tag here, let's define its font size, and I'll use the variable default. For the font family, again I'll use the variable that I created above in the root selector. Okay, now let's see. I save the changes and go to the browser. This is how it looks, although I don't have any markup at present. Let's work on the markup now. So I'll minimize this, go to HTML. Okay, so in the markup, basically I would have a wrapper across the whole body, and then inside the wrapper I'll have a header, a main body, and a footer. Okay, so let's start with the wrapper. It will be a div with the class of wrapper, and then we'll have a header tag. It's a HTML5 header tag. Then we have a main tag and a footer tag, and below the footer we have this. Okay, so we already have a footer tag here, so let me move it up. I'll cut it from here and I'll paste it here. Save it. Okay, it went on top. No problem. All right, so inside the header, what do we need? Let's check the design. We need the logo and three, what do you call, three navigation links. Okay, so let's think. How do you want to do that? So the logo will be on the left and the navigation should be on the right. All right, and remember that we are starting with mobile first. So I'll go here, open the dev tools, and I'll hit this responsive mode. So this is how it should look. My width is 373, which is less than the max width of 375. Okay, so let's put the image tag, and it's present inside the images folder, and its name is logo. So save it, and this is how it okay, I think it's so we are here. The images are not there. I'll put the images under the source. Okay, close this, and let's see. There you go. Okay, so it was a path issue. We have the logo here. Don't worry about the styling. We will fix it in a moment with the help of Tailwind. Next, let's work on the markup first. Let's use a nav element, HTML nav element, and I'll use ul, li, and anchor tags here. So let's name it features, and next one is theme, and the next one is sign in. All right, save and just have a look. And since we are using Tailwind, so they have some default styling for these ULLIs and anchor tags, and because we don't see the text decoration or underlines. Okay, so that is pretty nice. So now we want to keep them side by side. So what should we use? I think I've already got it. It will be my flexbox. Okay, so to use flexbox, I will be targeting the header tag, that will be my parent. Okay, so I'll put a class here with the name flex, and these are your tailwind classes. Okay, so save it, and there you go. And next class is I want to place them at the end, so there are no suggestions coming up. I wonder why. So let's see here under plugins. So my tailwind plugin should be there. Yep, it's already there. Somehow it's not working. Doesn't matter. So it will be justify between, and once you do that, it will look like this. They'll go to their extreme ends, and this wrapper should also have MX Auto. So MX Auto means center everything, and this one will have some padding, and for padding you use the word P with the number. Okay, there are multiple numbers. So this is how it looks now. All right, let me just quickly see if I can relaunch it. Invalidate caches and restart. Let's see, give it a sec to restart the project. Okay, and here, oops, let me just zoom out a bit. npm run dev, or did I put anything here? So let me just put some scripts here. Okay, there's a default script I don't want. Instead, I'll use this script here. So the name dev npx parcel source index.html. Okay, so npm run dev. Let's see. Perfect. So it's running, and I should have the same output here. Let's see if my IntelliSense is back or not. Ah, there you go. Wonderful. My IntelliSense is back to assist me. So for the logo, I'll give it a height and width. So width of 20 on mobile devices. So this is how it should look now. Okay, not that great. That's all right. So it'll get fixed once we work on the LI elements. So for the LIs, again, they should be flex, and they should have a gap of 3. So gap 3 means it's 0.75 rem. Okay, so save, see it here. Now let me just move it to the right. Okay, and I can drag it further. Again, you can see it in action. And the text, so for the text size, you have these classes like 2XL, 3XL, and if you choose this is how it will look. But let's say none of these inbuilt classes work for you. You can put some curly braces or square brackets and put your own value like 0.8 rem, and it should automatically create the required class based on this value, a new class. Okay, this is what we have here, and I think this is all what we needed. Okay, so our header tag is done with respect to smaller screens. For the larger window, that's the desktop size, we will target it later. Now let's work on the main body. So inside the main section, what do we need? We need multiple sections. Okay, so we have first section, second section, third section, and a fourth footer section, which is already there. So we are targeting the first section. I'll name it section dot top section. Okay, inside the top section, I'll have left div, comma. I'm not sure if the comma works. No, comma doesn't work in Emmet. So left div and a right div. Okay, so left will contain and why left right, because in the desktop design it's left and right 2-column layout. Okay, so that's why I'm naming them like that. And in the let's see what we have in the left. We have the h1, which should contain this text, which is here. So I've already named these, and this is what should be there in the h1. Where is my h1? There you go. And just below h1, I'll have a paragraph tag, and inside the paragraph, this text should go inside the paragraph tags. And below the paragraph, I'll have a div which will contain my input text. It has a placeholder of enter your email and a button by the name get started. Okay, there you go. So to save the changes, see the browser. This is how it looks. Okay, not that great, and we don't even. Okay, this is our button. This is our input box. Okay, not that great because we haven't styled it yet. On the right hand side, nothing much. We just have an image tag here, and image is illustration1. Illustration1. Save. There you go. And this is so small because by default Tailwind targets every image tag and sets their width, max width, to 100% of the parent container. Okay, this is awesome. So let's work on the left side. So the left should be below the text should be below the image. So I'll order it number 2. This is the flex order we are targeting here. The right will be order 1. So you don't have to switch your HTML. You can simply use the order. And the top section, let's make it a flex container, and it will be flex column. So flex call is my class. So as soon as you do that, you see the image is on the top and the text is at the beneath it. And flex call is my direction, and I'll give it a margin of around 24. That is approximately 6 rems from top. Empty means top, and a padding of 6 p6. And this is all on mobile devices. So this is how it looks. Okay. And if you want to know more about these classes, you can always go to the Tailwind documentation and look for the items you want to what are called style using Tailwind. Let's say, for example, I want to target margins. So you can search for a word margin and it'll tell you the classes, okay, and how to use them. Pretty handy. And you see, till now I haven't written any CSS code except for the body tag, and I've already created this layout. Okay, so the left div, so it should be also be a flex box container, and a flex of call would be the direction, and I can give a gap between the flex items of 12. So 12 means, let's see how much, it's 3 rems. So save the changes, and this is how it looks. So they are already nicely spaced out. And next we want to give it a margin of top of 6. Okay, save. So it gives a gap here. Now let's target the H1. So H1 will be text to Excel. So 2 times the Excel, text center, and font should be bold. This is how it looks. Let's see our design here. Perfect. But the color is not correct because it's black. And for that, I'll again visit my main.scss for a bit. For a moment, I'll tag the H1 and H2s. I know because I will be using H2 in the below sections. So I'm tagging or targeting both the tags, and I'll define their color as very dark blue. Okay, so save it. And now you see there's a subtle change here. If you want, you can use your selector tool and click here. You'll see their color have changed. This is the color now. Okay, great. So, and the next thing I want to put here is font family. So for every heading, it's should be railway font. Okay, save. It's all done now. Okay, so go back to your HTML because most of our work will be performed in the HTML using these tailwind classes. Okay, and this video is going to be a little longer, so please bear with me. And next is a p tag. I'm going to go a little faster because now you know the process. Okay, so text center, that's it. And the next div here, it should have few classes. First is flex and flex col. So typically on a mobile device, everything is in a column layout. Okay, and items should be centered and with a gap of value 4. 4 means 1 rem, and item center means it's align item center. This is the flexbox property. So you hit save, and this is what you get. Okay, so both of them are on top of each other in a stacked mode. Now we have to style the input text and the button. So I'll put a class here for input. It will have padding x in the x direction 16, padding in the y direction of 3, and you can play around with these values. Okay, it's not like you always have to use the same classes that I'm using. You can try with them. So border and border of blue, and you get multiple shades there. I'll use the 900 here, and also I'll use the rounded class. So this is how it looks. Okay, for the button, let's give it a class of bg blue 700. And although I created the variables, I could have used my SSS file to target the button and give the class. You can do that, but I think this is a pretty good match with the design. We'll see it in a moment. And for the width, I'm using this method again to give it 100% width, and the text should be white. Okay, give me a sec. Okay, so where was I? Font should be bold and rounded, small. So it'll be small but rounded edges. I'm just thinking that there is a padding issue or something. Okay, so we'll fix it later. Let's work on the right side here. Let's order one. It's all good. For the image, I don't need to do anything else. It's already in place. For the next section, okay, this is my first section, and I'm not really happy with the input. It's way too big. Ah, there you go. Okay, so px8, I'll make it both 8 so that they have the same equal width basically. That looks much better. And for the hover state, okay, it also has a hover state. So for the hover or pseudo classes, you can also use them here like this. So you put the word hover and you define what you want. So I want the background to change from 700 or 900, whatever it is, to let's say 400. Okay, so now if you hover, you see it's changing automatically without any additional efforts, and you can pretty much target every pseudo selector here using similar approach. Even the breakpoints, you can put a word like SM or MD or LG, and then you can define the styles. All right, enough talking here. Let's move on to the next section here. So I'll minimize this section. Okay, now we have second section. I'll name it what, middle section. You can name whatever you want, and inside this section again I'll have a left and a right div. So inside my left or right, let's say, again I'll have only the image illustration 2, but this is a little tricky. Okay, I'll show you why. Again, it will be order 1, and we'll have a padding in the x direction of 6, padding in the y direction of 24, with margin top of 1.8 rem. And I'm adding this margin because it should have a background image, because here in the design, if you see closely, there is this nice arch here, okay, that is coming from the background image. Okay, that has been given to us, so I have to use that. All right, so now in the left we need a few classes, of course. So let's see, we need the order class, order 2, and we also need a padding of 6. Okay, and that's it for this breakpoint. Inside the div we will have h2 that says the word or the text here, stay productive, and it should go inside the h2 and the div here. Actually this should go inside another div. I'll name it heading, not name it, it's a class actually. And this div will have margin 24, margin bottom of 8, font bold, text center, and it should have a text size of 1.1 rem. This is a custom value I'm putting here. And just below this div, it will be a p tag with the text here. So I'll simply cut it and paste it here. I'll have another p tag which will have this text. Yeah, cool. And below this, I'll have a div which will contain a span and the image, which is the arrow image. Span will contain the text, that is, see how Fylo works. Okay. So let's quickly style these tags. So for the h2, I don't need any extra thing or any extra styling. For the p tag, I'll give it margin bottom of 8, text of 0.9 rem, and I'll copy the same for the other p tag also. And for this div, make it a flex box, gap of 2, and justify center items. And you see there's a delay in the IntelliSense. That is because every time I'm writing, it has to compile the CSS. Okay, so that's why it's taking a bit of time to show me the hints or the IntelliSense. Unlike in Bootstrap, where you have the CSS file already compiled and it caches all the classes and it's in its memory. It's not like that. It does not generate all the classes that it can support, because that will be too much load on the system. It only generates the classes which are required or which you are targeting in your code. Okay, so border of 2, border of right of 0, and border t means top of 0, then you have border left 0. Basically I'm only targeting the border bottom of green. Okay, and then padding bottom of 2. W fit means fit content, width equals to fit content, and mx auto is center everything. So if I save this everything, and this is how it looks now, but we don't have the text or that image. Okay, so in this thing, it should go up, image should go up, and this should go down, right? So let's see why it's not going up. It should, I think I have to make this as flex first for that to happen. Flex and flex col for the column layout. Come on. And I think that should be it. And margin top 24. There you go. Okay, so now I have to work on the background. For the background, I'll use my CSS file here. But sometimes you have to use CSS. There is no other choice. Okay, so here for the li and anchor tags, I'll use my font family, that is, come on, railway. Okay, and now I'm targeting the section with the class of middle section. Here the background image should be my bg curve mobile, and I can save. You'll see it is there, but it's repeating itself. I don't want that. So background repeat, no repeat, and background position should be center top. There you go. It's very light. I hope you can see it here. This is the background image. and background size should be contained. Okay, that's it. Okay, I'll also put a class here for the div which are not having the card class. I'll create a div with the card class later, and the reason I'm using is that I'll give them a background color of grayish blue, light grayish. Come on, neutral. I have it or I don't. Let's see. Come on, check here. Uh, light grayish blue. This one. Okay. So I'll go back. I'll put it here. There you go. So with this, you see, I've already created this uh, boundary here, and I've also got the background color. As you can see here, this is white, this is the grayish blue. To just little bit manage the margin. Okay, so margin of the image, margin top, which is 1.8. Let's move it 1.6. Oops, that's it. I have to go down. 2 rem. Okay, 2 rem is looking great. It's nice arch here. Perfect. So let's work on the, this is done, I believe. Let me just have a look. Yep, looks pretty good. This section is done. Okay, and this is where it ends. And okay, I have to create the div with the card class that I forgot, which will have that white background. So what I'll do, just below the image div, I'll create a div with the class of card, and it should have a large shadow and a margin top and bottom direction of 10. So my means top and bottom. If you put mt, it will top. mb is margin bottom, but my is the y direction, top and bottom both. Py again 6, px 4, rounded xl, so it'll have larger border radius. So this is how it looks now. Okay, nice. And since this is white because it's coming from this css, because it's not targeting this, otherwise it would also become this bluish color. So inside this card I'll have a image, have an image that will be images slash icon quotes, and this will have a class of width 5. There you go. This is this nice quotes here. Then we have a p tag with the class of leading 7. Leading 7 means it's a line height as given by the class leading. The text should be 0.95 rem and margin top of 6. Okay, so the text content will be this one, I believe. Cut and paste it here. Looks to be okay. Yep. And below that we'll have a div, the class of cart footer, And the footer, I have an image tag, images, avatar. Okay. And this avatar will have rounded. Again, I don't have a circle here, so I'll use custom percentage. Width is 2 by 12, which means it's 16.66%. Okay, save it. This is how you get it, how cool it is. And I need the text now. So text is my name and designation. So span will have the name and the p tag will have the designation. Okay, both of them will have some classes, but before that I have to add classes to this div. Flex gap of 2. I'm not making it cool because they should come side by side. Items center, margin top of 6. And ideally these classes should come here. Okay, like that. And this div will actually not have anything. The span will have a class of font bold, and this p tag will have a class of text hyphen point 8 rem. Okay, looking much cooler. But you see the background is coming from this. The color of this div is coming from this background. We don't want that. So again, I have to go to CSS, and a similar rule we have to write here also. So again, I'll target the card div, and any div which is not a card. So which color? FF. Okay. This should be card footer. No, card is okay. So this takes care of the background, and we are done with the box here. It has a nice shadow also. So now let's work on the third section here. That is the newsletter section. Okay, this will have a left div and a right div. Inside the left, what do we have? We have h3, which says get early access, and then you get p tag, which is still here. Okay. In the right section, we get the input, type text, placeholder, email at example.com, and then we have a button that says get started for free. Now let's work on the classes. For the newsletter, flex gap of 6, flex call, it's a column, p8, items header, and text center. Okay, this is what you get. For the left, type, give it a margin top of 6. Text should be white, and this should also have a background, right? And for the background, go to my main SCSS section.newsletter, background color, dsat blue, okay, and main height, I'll give it a main height of 40 VH, that's viewport height. Similarly, let's quickly add the footer styling here. Background color, variable, very dark blue. Oops. And main height again of 40 viewport heights. Okay, nice. Going back to my index file, I was targeting this left. I think it's done. H3, it should have classes and font of bold, MB6. This p tag has nothing. Right div will have flex call, gap of 3, padding bottom of 6. Save. This is how it looks. And this input, of course, it should have some classes. So px40 padding, x direction, y direction, and rounded sm, small rounded, and width should be 100%. Cool. Now the button will be peachy blue 600, padding x4, padding y2, text white, and on hover should have background blue of 400. Okay, looking nice. Let's see if I can target the placeholder here. Color placeholder, text gray 300. Somehow I don't see it. All right, let's move ahead. We'll not waste time here because we have already crossed an hour. So the last section is the footer section. The footer, I'll have a div, a parent div. Then I'll have a div for left section, middle, right. Okay. So to save some time, I'm going to copy paste the code for the footer because it's the same thing. Okay. I'll be using multiple classes here. And what I will do, so this logo.dark, right? I created a different variation of this logo. Which is, where is this logo? Logo. Not in the disk folder, in the images folder. We have a logo, copy paste, logo dark, and basically what I did here, I simply changed their color from black to white. This one also from black to white. Okay, save it. There you have the logo and everything else. And this is all about your HTML for smaller screens, and here you can remove this text. So as you can see here, I've created 3 divs: left, then the middle, and then right. So middle and right, they just have UL and LIs, and I've made them flex boxes. Okay, on the left we have this image here, then the 2 p tags, one with phone number and the one with email address. And I've made the p tag themselves as flex containers because the p tags are your block level elements, so they can act as flex containers. Inside them we have the 2 span tags. Okay, and they are separated. This nice gap is coming from this gap class here. Okay, same settings. And here also, as you can see, I have some other classes for other breakpoints, and this is how you target a different breakpoint, like large screens or medium screens. Okay, so this section is already done. If I just remove this, you will notice that on bigger screens my footer is already set, and that is already matching my this layout, except for this, what do you call, social media icons. You have everything in place, properly aligned. Okay, like this. All right, so let's now target our bigger screens, because a small one is already perfect, as you can see here. Now we have to worry about the bigger one, the larger screen. So for that, we'll be using different classes. Okay, and let's start with the topmost div, and the bottom area that I just removed, that particular p tag here, which says challenge by front-end mentor. You should keep it. Okay, so this is where it will come. Okay, it will have your name. Okay, so make sure you put your name there, coded under the coded by section. And then let's work on the responsive part. Okay, that is your for larger screens. So for larger screens, this wrapper will have a max width of, so I'll not use the default one, I'll use custom 1440 pixels, or you don't have to write pixel, it will by default be the pixel unit. And for larger screens, I want the padding to be px20. See, it shrinked a little bit towards the inside. This one should have a margin top of 8 only on larger screens, so you'll get this nice gap. And let's see the first section here. So on larger screens, LG, I'll make them a flex row instead of flex column, and padding should be 0, and padding in the y direction should only be 4. Save. This is how it looks now. And the order should be reversed for these classes. So now for this divs, I mean, for LG, this should be order 1, and it should also have LGPX2 padding X and width of 2 by 4, 50%, and margin top of 0. Okay, this is how it looks now. Okay, for the H1, and as you can see that I have added the classes for the mobile devices first, and then I'm putting the classes for different breakpoints. And this is the standard practice, okay, which everyone follows. So this is a nice uh, standard to follow, to know that you're starting with the mobile layout. Okay, so next should be text start. On bigger screens, text should be 4 XL, and that's it. Okay, and we are not on 1440 right now. Okay, so this is how it looks. Let me just resize this window a little bit. For the p tag, okay, the p tag, again, nothing much. The text should start from the start, and this div, it should have flex row side by side. That's it. So the button and this one should come side by side. The input, let's see, what do we need for the input here? Border grade 300 and py1. Similarly for the button, there's nothing as such. For the right hand side, this one, this would be order 2 now, and the width will be again 2 by 4, 50%. Okay, so now they are stacked properly, and let me make the padding y1 here too, or I can remove the padding y1 from here and from here. Let's see how it looks. Okay, looking good now. Not a bad one. For the header, okay, I think I missed the header, right? Inside the header, okay, you have this. So for the larger screens, this width should be 40. Okay, so the icon is little bigger, and this one gap should increase to 12 on larger screens, so they're nicely spaced out. Okay, the header is done, and footer is done. In the main, we are working on this. I think this is done. Section 1 is completed, and then we have the next section, the middle section. For middle, what do we need? We need LG flex row. Okay, this is how it looks a little ugly, and let's first fix the background image here. And for that, I'm going to use my media query. So I'll go here, media, use media, and come down here. I'll use include desktop background image URL. So images background desktop, and the background position should be top. Okay, now see, it's coming up. I have to play around with the margin and padding. Okay, so now let's see. For the left, It should be order 1 first of all, and then it should have a margin top of 16. Okay. Where is it? Where is it? And for medium screens, also margin top of 16, and Excel margin top of 32. The heading here, it doesn't need any separate classes. Let's see. Then we'll go to the flex box here. And we don't need anything for the larger screens. Okay, let's go to the right one. So this should be order 2 and margin top 16, margin top 32. And now it is taking the proper shape and everything is in proper place. Okay, as you can see. So these margins, I have to play around with them so as to come up with this nice design with the background. All right, it's nothing. These are not magic numbers. I have to play around to get to the actual value, whether 16 or 32. Okay, so with this finished, let's target the newsletter section. For the large screens, the gap should be 12 and flex direction should be row. Padding should be 16 and text should be from start. Okay, let's see down here. Okay. Also, on larger screens, the order should be 1 and width is 2 by 4. That's 50%, and padding is P4. Order 2. Then you have P4 here as well, not PY, P4. And the width is 2 by 4 again. So we have this nice layout. Okay. The H3 tag here should be little bigger to Excel. Nice. And here you can see email@example.com. It's showing properly. Now, let's see, what do we have here? We have the input box. So on large, make it a block, and the button should be on large screen is double bit and px8 lock. Okay, this is how it looks here, because on the bigger screens it's not full width, just on the left hand side. Okay, and it has a nice shadow also. Let's give it a shadow. I didn't notice it earlier. Shadow LG, looking good. So this is the final design. And as you can see, it took me around 1 hour and 25 minutes to complete this layout, and that is also when I'm explaining it to you guys. But this is the final version, okay, with the layout in front of us. And if we just go to the mobile version, this is how it looks. And you see this is a little off here, and that is okay. You can always go back to our code and go to the middle section here and decrease this from, let's say, 24 to 20. Or maybe even further, 16. And this is not the correct place actually. It should be the image, right? So the image is here. So the margin top is 2 rems, so I should make it 1.8. Okay, now you see it's almost gone. I'll make it 1.6 then. Now it's gone. And now if you go back, it's working. And if you click this, go back to the mobile version, and it's working. And if you zoom in closer, it's still okay. This is my mobile layout, and this is my desktop layout. So let me zoom out. So with this, guys, it concludes the tutorial and the challenge also. And like I said, I will not be publishing this or submitting this as the solution on the front-end mentor website, but if you guys want, you can definitely do that, and then the people will check it out and give you feedback. And I hope you liked it. So if you have anything to ask or suggest, please feel free to put that in the comment section below of this video. And please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share my channel with your friends, colleagues, and loved ones. So I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care and happy learning. And I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year in advance. Thank you and have a great day. Bye bye.